When you are really listening and you're present, then you have to change not only yourself, but the relationship changes.
And also that they get to experience connection. They get to be listened to.
Right.
You know, you get to listen and you get to be listened to.
In the dialogue literature, it's there a lot about need for acknowledgement, need for affirmation. But the affirmation comes, I think you're saying, when you're present, you're attuned to what's going on,
and then it's a two-way street. When I do an exercise as a sort of a Second City coaching that is see and be seen. Your job as you're walking around is to see and be seen, to hear and be heard. Second City, when it started, the Compass Players. The plan was not that this would be comedy. The plan was that they were going to use improvisation. This was a group of people who were doing Brecht.
Yeah.
They wanted to do theater for the people. And they were going to improvise in order to speak to their audiences. And what they found is that people laughed. You know,
it was going to be genuine, authentic.
Exactly. And that it was that authenticity that created humor. And that's what audiences responded to, and that's, you know, Mike Nichols and Elaine May, who were in that original group, that's where their nightclub act, neither of them having planned on being comedians, their nightclub act came out of that. One of the interesting things about the way that Second City we write our shows is that we write them in front of an audience over a long period of time. At Second City, you'll see your comedy review, and then we do an improvised set afterwards, and that's what we use to write our material. So night after night, we will improvise in front of an audience. We'll bring scenes back. So we'll have a variety of different audiences watch that, and we'll sort of build what we create based on audience response over time. You know, well, some of them want to be on Saturday Night Live, and some of them take it just because they'll be fun. But people come up to me all the time and say, you know, I did not expect for the improv classes, which I took to be funny or, you know, took to play, they've changed my life. They've changed my relationships. I have different kinds of relationships. They've changed my work. People respond to me differently at work. Paying such close attention to the way people listen to each other and all the pieces that they listen to. You can't help but alter yourself. As you were saying, you become aware of the ways in which you can alter yourself so that communication is more effective. One of the biggest tenets of improvisation is this idea that if I really listen to you and I accept what you give me and I heighten it, that without me even trying, it will transform into something new.
Yes,
you know, there's this worry that, well, you know, if I just mirror him, if I just well, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Oh, yeah.
If I just take what you're giving me and I give back, and we do that back and forth, that something will transform and something new will come, and we will not have had to make it happen. I was just talking to a fellow who was talking about going to parties, office Christmas parties, and feeling like he didn't, you know, I don't know what to say. Like, well, you don't have to know what to say. If you honestly just listen.
That's right.
And ask the next question, or
yes, I mean, things come up. I mean, you listen and wow, something of interest there.
We've all had that conversation. It goes back to the idea that the dialogue isn't just the words, the dialogue is the behavior, the dialogue is what you're saying, and that a really good improviser is taking all that information in, and actually also the information from the audience. And reflecting that back in a new way, so that the sketch is never going to go the same way. And there's a very classic Second City scene called Pictionary, which the original cast included Steve Carell. And it's two couples playing Pictionary, boys versus girls, and the women keep winning instantly, and the men can't win. At that scene now, we have toured in our touring companies for probably 12 to 15 years. And you almost wouldn't recognize the script from what they did in the original to what people are doing now when we do it, say, on one of our cruise ships. And yet the essence of it
is the same.
Is exactly the same. We talk about a lot in improvisation, that in conversation there's a game.
Yeah, yeah.
We find a game and we build that game, and that's all you have to do. Find the game that you're already playing. One of the things we say in improvisation, the blessing of improvisation, there's 0 accidents. You can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You sneeze, and the sneeze is part of the scene. You fall, the fall is part of the scene. There is no point at which you have done anything that someone else can't listen to and respond to and build on. The moment that you see someone, an actor in a class, who really just takes everything in and then says yes to it and agrees to it, that those are the moments when all of a sudden the scene explodes into something that's infinitely more interesting for all of us to watch.
It takes a lot of courage to let go, to not have an agenda.
Well, we call that surrender.
Yeah.
That you have to surrender your control.